To the subtraction problem, our first option is to do it the same way that we did the adding mixed numbers here. We're going to convert to improper fractions and then follow the subtraction steps and then at the end convert back to mixed numbers. So our fractions are the same as the ones we added above. So I've already done the steps of converting them to improper fractions and finding a common denominator with equivalent fractions. The only difference in this step is that instead of adding the 45 and the 22, this time I'm going to be subtracting them, leaving me with 23 twelfths. And then my final step is to convert that back into a mixed number. Since 12 fits into 23 one time with 11 remaining, my final answer will be 1 and 11 twelfths. The alternate method shown in your textbook requires that you borrow. So doing the same fractions again, this time with subtraction, we will once again deal with the fraction parts separately. So these fractions will again become 9 twelfths and 10 twelfths. And this is where our first problem arises, because it's not possible to subtract 9 or to subtract 10 when we only have 9, much in the same way that if we were subtracting 23 from 50, we can't subtract 3 from 0, so we have to borrow from the tens column before doing the subtraction. We also need to borrow from the whole column in order to do this subtraction. So if we borrow from the 3, making it a 2, that gives us 1 to add to the 9 twelfths. But what does 1 look like when your denominator is 12? It looks like 12 twelfths. So this problem is going to be rewritten as 21 twelfths minus 10 twelfths, leaving us with 11 twelfths for the fraction portion. Then coming back over here to the whole numbers, 2 minus 1 is 1. And when we recombine these two pieces, we get a final answer of 1 and 11 twelfths. Referring back to the first part, that's the same answer that we achieved by changing them to improper fractions. So for your exam, you don't need to know both of these methods, just one of them. I wanted you all to see both so that you could make the decision as to whether or not the adding and subtracting is easier to do by converting to improper fractions and then back to mixed form, or to leave them in their mixed form but need, in order to complete the problem, to carry the wholes, which is what we're doing here, or borrow from the wholes. So that ends part 2 of our fraction summary. Please keep in mind that you should be studying all of the quizzes from this unit, as your exam will also include the information from Unit 1 on decimals and whole numbers, most specifically rounding and division. And there'll also be a short division problem. Best of luck. I look forward to grading a lot of straight A tests.